Hello all, welcome back to Sowmya tutorials. Class 2nd PUC state syllabus, multiple choice questions. This is the section number 5. Chapter 7, classes and objects. First, let me move on to the next slide here. There's some of the questions which are related from the concept of the classes and the objects according to your syllabus. The first question is that which member functions are default by declaration? Which member functions are default by declarations? Options are public access specified, option B protected access specified, option C private access specified, and option D is both A and B. So which one is the correct answer? The final answer is option number C, private, because private access specifier means that a member data or a member functions can only be accessed by the member functions. These members are declared under the privates are accessible only within the class. If no access specifier is mentioned by default, the members are to be in the private. So once again, I'll repeat private access, which means that a member data can be only be accessed by the member functions only. These members are declared under the private are accessible only within the class. If no any other access specifiers is mentioned, then by default members are private. So that the correct option is private. Second question, what is the other name used for functions inside a class? What is the other name used for functions inside a class? The options are member variables, member functions, class functions, and class variables. These are all the options. The correct answer we get member function. Why the member function is the correct answer? Member functions are the set of operations that are performed on the objects of the classes. So these member functions may be either it is 0 or more member functions in a classes. So that this is also we can call it as the interfaces. So that the any names, any other names used for the functions inside the class, that functions we can call it as a member functions. These member functions which are the set of the operations that are performed on the objects of the class. So that the correct answer we get member functions. Third question, dash specifies defines the scope of the data. Options are option A data members, option B member functions, option C access specifiers, option D none of the above. The correct answer we get option number C access specifier. So what is an access specifier? Access specifier here is that an object is defined as instances of the class. Every data member of the class is specified by their the three level of access protections like private, public, and also protected. So these are all the access specifier which are all defines the scope of the data where we can access the data members and member functions which are outside the classes or within a classes or any other friend of that classes. So that the access specifiers which are specifying defines the scope of the data. Question number 4. Which of the following default access specifier? Options are private, public, protected, and friend functions. So answer we get private. Already I told that. So by default we have to using the access specifier is that is a private. Private access specifier, which means that if there is a no access specifier is mentioned in the any other classes, by default we have to be used in the private. Next question is dash operator is used to access the member functions and data members outside the classes. The options are the first operator is a scope resolution operator, second is a dot operator, third it is a AND operator that is address of operator, fourth it is a star that is indirection operator. So answer we get the first one scope resolution operator, it is represented by the double colon symbol. So here is that this is a scope resolution operator which is used to accessing the member functions which are outside the classes. So either it is the data members or member functions which are defined outside the classes. So that the correct answer we get scope resolution operator. The scope resolution operator, the significance of this scope resolution operator which are used to accessing the member functions and data members outside classes. So next question is that sixth one, dash process of naming a class and data variables and interface operations of the classes. The options are class definition, class declaration, class dimension, and also the class specification. The correct answer is the option A, the class definition. So because it is a process of naming a class and data variables and interfaces operations of the class. Here is that data declaration, it specifies the representation of objects of the class only. So, but we have to specify all the classes and all the variables and all other operations of the classes so that this definition we can call it as the class definition. So that correct answer we get the class definition. So class definition, it is a process of naming a class and data variables and also the interface operations of the class. Next question is data variables of the class is also called what? Function members, main members, data members, and also the member functions. So correct options we get data members. The data variables is also known as the member data of the classes. So it describes the characteristics of the classes. So that the correct option is that data members. Next question is what is the name of process which highlights essential features of a function? Options are abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation, and inheritance. So here, some of the definitions are present here. What is a data abstraction? Data abstraction, which means that the act of representing the essential features without including any background details. So what is the definition of a polymorphism? The polymorphism, it is the ability to take more than one form. So what is an encapsulation? The wrapping up of a data and functions in the single unit, it is called the data encapsulation. Then what is a inheritance? It's a process of acquire the properties of the one object, acquire the properties of another object. So here the correct answer we get abstraction. Abstraction is a process of act of representing essential features without including any background details. So abstraction is the name of the process which highlights the essential feature of a function. Next question is that what is the name of the process which highlights already repeated here. The next question is that dash describes the characteristics of function. So already the data member definition is repeated. So data members, which means that the variables which is also known as the members of the classes. So these data members which are described the characteristics of the class. So here is that options, interface, data variables, data members or member functions, and the last option is the data type. So that the correct option here is that data variables. So this option is the correct answer. Data variables, it describes the characteristics of the data. So this is the sum of the questions which are related from the chapter, the classes and also object. Thank you. If you like my videos, please do subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon for the notification of